All right, so time for a new song. Kind of gave you a vague idea of what I wanted to write. I want to write about how when you meet somebody new, she seems like she's, just the cat's meow. The perfect one for you, a perfect match. A way of putting new people that we meet on a pedestal. Maybe there's a part of us that wants to believe in this ideal, this impossible person. So we tell ourselves that that's what we've got in this new love. This new person that we're in love with or infatuated with or in lust with. So I always write 2 verses in a chorus, right? So what if there's a verse with the rose-colored glasses on and then a verse where the rose-colored glasses come off? And the first time the chorus is sung, there's a little bit of a transition, a subtle, vague transition from unreality to reality. And then, of course, the final chorus is the complete throwing of this person under the bus. I'm going to write that down. So first verse, rose-colored. First, we'll call it the first chorus, I guess. Transition. Second verse. Reality. We'll just say reality, but reality sets in. And second chorus. The end. We'll just call it. Okay. I also want to both lengthen this lyrics writing process out and kind of break it into smaller chunks, because I really do want you to attempt this and prove to yourself that it's doable, it's easily done. So let's start like we started my very first video about 4 weeks ago now. Let's start with rose-colored. What is it? How about she's perfect? Right? Let's keep this in the third person or second person, whatever that is. I think it's third person. Just so it's slightly less personal. Because even though I use the word retard, referring to people who, whenever a man speaks, they call it mansplaining. I did also acknowledge that there's another side to this story, right? A woman could meet me and think I was awesome, and then down the road she finds out that, oh, he's not perfect. Okay, so I'm just as fallible, just as mortal, just as imperfect as anybody. So with the rose-colored glasses on, we think she's perfect. What? She's more beautiful. How do you spell beautiful? Every moment. Oh. How about this one? We finish each other's sentences. That says fish, not finish. Each other's sentences. She gets me, right? Great listener. She likes what I like. She's accepting of me and forgiving. She loves, let's say loves me for me. What else when you're just brand new? It's just, that's pretty good for a sec. Let's go right to the second verse. She seems grumpy sometimes. She's not comfortable introducing me to friends and family. She's less interested in my conversation. She's jealous of her time, meaning sometimes, it seemed like she wanted to spend every moment with me. How about she wants all my moments? That's a good line for the first verse. But in the second verse, she suddenly doesn't have quite as much time, right? I call her up or whatever, text her, and she's kind of, how about that? Slow to respond to texts. She wants fewer kisses. How about this for the first verse? She hangs on my every seems to want to change me. And seems to have changed herself. changed from who I thought she was. That's the crux of it right there. You pay a close attention to No More Love Songs, that theme is brought up. She looks less beautiful every moment. Every word / moment. Okay, that's good enough for a sec. So it'll be just slightly tricky to, especially to make the first chorus transitional and the second chorus a bloodbath. A verbal bloodbath. Nobody's talking about hurting anybody physically. Calm down. All right, first chorus. 2 peas in a pod, joined at the hip. Ooh, I got a good transition. How about oops, where did she go? She was just here walking beside me. What else? Made for each other. M-F-E-O. She's like a sister, a friend, a lover. Partner. How about that? Is that? Ooh, my other half. All right, good enough. I'm getting bored with just coming up with ideas. Second chorus. I wanted to make it verbally, or at least sonically, as similar to the first chorus as I can. So that's going to be the real challenge. Do you know what I mean? I want it to, the words to sound the same, even though they need to convey a different meaning. I'm not sure how I'll do that. I'm not going to worry about it too much. How about this? 1 pea has left the pod. My hip buddy has flown the coop. It was all an act. She only saw potentially change. She wanted to be a puppeteer. My other half makes me feel less whole. So instead of sister, friend, lover, partner, what are 4 good words? Let's make them rhyme. Blister. What rhymes with friend? That's a bad word. Bender. Someone who doesn't like the way you are, wants to bend you. Shover. Partner. Farter. Crack myself up. That's my favorite part so far, is those sister, friend, lover, partner, blister, bender, shover, farter. There was this guy that I worked with once. He had been married at the time 10 years or something. He claimed he had never farted in front of his wife during that whole time. And at the time I thought it was just stupid. And dude, it's a bodily function. You can't just hold that in. That's not healthy. And she shouldn't think less of you because you fart. But I don't know. I kind of see his point. I mean, it'd be a pain in the butt to run out of the room or run into the bathroom or whatever every time you need to fart, but there is some of the mystery that is lost when you view your partner in situations where she's taking care of farting and other bodily functions. It's, that's not what you want to lie down with in bed and get real snuggly with. It's part of life, but at the same time, I think it's kind of cool to not really put it on display for the one that you love most on earth. How about she's gone and I love this old saying, good riddance. I don't know how to spell riddance, but that's how I'm spelling it. Too bad rubbish. Okay, so number one, I've got a lot more notes to work with before I even start working on lyrics. That's kind of the first part of how I wanted to make this kind of a more comprehensive process, because it's really easy. The funny thing about when you're highly skilled at something is it can be difficult to be empathetic to someone who's never done this thing that you're good at. So, since there are things that I know, I already know those things. Why would I waste time talking about those things or thinking about those things? Well, you don't know those things. You haven't experienced those things. You haven't sharpened that saw. So it's important for me to try to break things down into the simplest form so that you can understand what in the world I'm talking about. So the second way that I'm going to make this more comprehensive is, I don't know if you noticed, but a lot of times as I'm writing lyrics, I come up just with the line that I really, really like, and I don't worry about. It's when you're rhyming lines, there's a first line and a second line, and the second line rhymes with the first line. So if you want to be a little bit daring and free and easy, you can come up with a first line that you just really, really love. Just worry about rhyming that second line later. So let's do that. And in addition to that, let's write a whole bunch of first lines. And maybe even a couple pages. And then we'll kind of pick and choose. Maybe, well, we're writing very specific choruses, so. But if we were writing a normal song, we would just write a whole bunch of lines and then I guess maybe rhyme them. Let's go ahead and rhyme them. So it'll take a little more space, but I'm glad I thought of that. But in a normal song, we would just take the very most favorite lines out of our bunch of lines that we've written, rhyming lines, and that becomes our chorus because it's our, really it's the best part of the song. That's why it's our favorite, right? So it's the part that bears repeating, right? A lot of things that you might say in life, maybe you shouldn't have even said them to begin with. There are other things that you say that were worth saying, but they're not worth repeating, right? But then there are those lines, those sentences or phrases that you might utter in normal conversation in real life that you could say over and over again, and they're just, they're intellectual or emotional gems that you can just go on sharing because it's awesome. A penny saved is a penny earned, right? I guess that could be an example of one. All right, enough talking. Let's figure out some good lines. Let's start at the beginning here with the first verse. How about this? She's perfect in every way. Oh, how stupid. Oh well. It doesn't feel stupid when you first feel this way about someone. Oh, this is obvious. I want to spend every... What rhymes with way? Oh yeah, day. Okay, we've got our first 2 lines. She's more beautiful every moment. What part of that is going to be the easiest to rhyme with? Let's just do beautiful. Okay. She's ever more beautiful. Well, this is one of those times that we're not going to come up with an exact rhyme, are we? She's ever more beautiful. Beautiful. Dutiful. Oh, I don't think that works, does it? Let's write it down over here. Dutiful. Fruitful. Cuteful. Nutraceutical. Pitiful. Is there a way to twist that to make it positive? Suitable, I guess. Maybe that's as good as it's gonna get, but we'll see. We could just go with wonderful. It's pretty different, but it ends with a full. What other words end in a full? Here's a alternate thing that you can do if you've kind of given up on anything rhyming perfectly with a word like beautiful. You can just come up with a similar word and then maybe start rhyming with that, right? So what else ends in erful? What about this? Able, tolerable, comfortable. I like comfortable. See what I'm saying? You have to get a little creative in what's gonna quote unquote rhyme. Need a pencil sharpener. So powerful. Let's stick with comfortable. Maybe there aren't that many words that rhyme with that, and I feel like I'm getting snagged here. The idea is to get this done quickly and simply and easily, so let's choose one of these. I don't think dutiful or pitiful. Suitable? I like wonderful or comfortable. She's even more beautiful. She's ever more beautiful. Can't read my own writing. It's an R, not an N. She's ever more beautiful. Wonderful. Let's just go with that. She's absolutely wonderful. Doesn't that sound like something you'd say about some new love? I'm skipping that. We finish each other's sentences. Just feel like moving on. Great listener. Let's go with fun to talk to. A great listener. How about this? Great lips. I love kissing her. Isn't that clever? Okay, she gets me. The girl really gets me. Upsets me. That's something. I'm just going through the alphabet mentally. Lets me, that's good. Oh, I love that. Let's just leave it kind of generic. When I want to, she lets me. The girl really gets me. When I want to, she lets me. I don't even want to complete that thought, because anything you may want to do, whether it's you know, physical affection, or whether it's, you know, that thing where sometimes guys want to go out with the guys, even though they have a girlfriend. When I want to go out with the guys, she lets me. So it could be a whole gamut of things that we're talking about. When there's something I want to do, she lets me. Okay. She's giving and forgiving. But this, I was dying, now I'm living. I like that. How about this? I want all her moments. In my notes I wrote, she wants all my moments. Except what do you rhyme with moments? I'll have to bend the rules a little again. Foments. Can you use that in a positive way? I don't know. Where's my phone? Oh, there it is. Romance. We have a real romance. Just went through the alphabet again and finally came up with something that's passable, but maybe not. Okay, she loves me for me. We'll just stick with that how it is. She just lets me be me. I like that we finish each other's sentences. What do I do with that? Sentences. Well, we'll worry about that later. No, let's do it slightly differently. She finishes my sentences usually saying what I meant to say. So already, just with those two lines, that's a little bit of foreshadowing that maybe this isn't everything we think it's going to be. But see, that's the thing. You don't, some red flags, some warning signs come up, and they go right over your head. They bounce right off you because, oh, you're so in love and she's so perfect. Okay, so that's first verse. Getting to be a long video, but you know, y'all can hit the pause button and come back to it sometime if you want. You can come back 3, 4, 5 times if you want. Okay, second verse. It'll be a little more fun. Where is my second verse? It's over there. Second verse. I think we want to lead with she seems grumpy sometimes. Let's start the verse with now we've known. How about now we've been together a minute. Oh well. I want to rhyme in it with minute. Oh, let's come back to that. Okay. When she's grumpy, it's not cute. All her points are pretty moot. You know what that means? That's a phrase nobody uses anymore, but it's in a Rick Springfield song. But it's a if you're in a conversation and it's a little bit, each of you maybe disagrees a little bit or a lot, whatever it is, and you're trying to make a point, the other person's trying to make points as well. You're trying to convey a meaning, say something that's relevant, that's going to help the other person understand where you're coming from, and maybe help on the other hand, show the person that you understand where he's coming from. So you try to come up with relevant points. Well, the opposite of relevant is moot. In the Rick Springfield song, Jesse's Girl. So he's got some friend. And he's kind of infatuated with his friend's girlfriend. You know, I wish that I had Jesse's girl. You know, I feel so dirty when they start talking cute. Wow, we used the same 2 words, didn't we? Okay. I want to tell her that I love her, but the point is probably moot. So Jesse's girl is probably in love with Jesse. So if you walk up and say, I love you, she's just not even going to know what to say to that. It's irrelevant. It's pointless. You know, you got to kind of bide your time and wait for that relationship to break up and then ease in, and maybe at some point, months down the road, you can tell her you love her. Anyway, all her points are pretty moot. I really like that. Okay. How about this? This is built. She's less than proud to know me. My grandpa Stuart would, I only saw him get introduced to strangers once or twice, probably, maybe only once, but it just stuck in my head the way he said this. So I don't know where we were, what we were doing, but somebody introduced a new person to Grandpa Stuart. And Grandpa Stuart grabbed the guy by the hand to shake hands and said, proud to know ya. I gotta start saying that. I think that's cool. Anyway, so that's where this line comes from. She's less than proud to know me. Because over here in my notes I said, she's not comfortable introducing me to friends and family. So I'm saying the same thing, just in a more subtle way, and sometimes subtlety is awesome. She's less than proud to know me. So you could end it with show me. I'm going to finish this line up here. Might not be love. Now that I'm in it. She's less than proud to know me. So there's show me, there's it needs to be show me, doesn't it? I can't come up with anything else. She feels right and wants to show me. Let's change that. Thinks she's right and wants to show me. Doesn't listen when I'm talking, right? I said she's less interested in my conversation a bit. See, doesn't listen when I'm talking. It's more pithy. Doesn't listen when I'm talking. So we got to rhyme talking. Balking. Oh, I really do like that. It's an unused word, but I really like it. Let's do it. Let's do it. So this is now 3 lines that I've come up with the rhyming word, and then had to work for a little bit to come up with the preceding words of the line. Doesn't listen when I'm talking. So if you don't know, balking is when somebody comes up with an idea, something that he wants to do. Hey, let's go play Frisbee at the park. Your response is, I don't really, I just want to sit here and watch TV. You're balking at the idea of going to the park and playing Frisbee because you just don't want to do that. I think if you think about it, you'll find that when something isn't your idea, it seems like a pretty lame idea. If it is your idea, if you're the one that was sitting here going, I'm bored, what can we do? Look over, oh, look, there's a Frisbee. There's a park like 2 blocks away. Let's go play Frisbee. Seems like a great idea, right? Well, the other person, he might be the one that's balking. How about just this? More and more I find, oops, I got another word right here. Yep. She's balking. I like it. I really like this line, she's jealous of her time. She's grown jealous of her time. How about that? Okay, there's a little bit of a distinction between envy and jealousy, at least in our context that we're using here. Envy is just anytime you see something that someone else has that you wish you had and you almost want to steal it. When there's something that's desirable that's not yours, it just seems like it really increases the desire, right? You want that thing. You haven't... There's a way that you can go out and work and create enough value to earn enough money to exchange for that thing that you want. So you could have it. It might take a lot of work and a lot of time and a lot of failure and pain and this and that and the other, but you could get it. But envy, or to use the biblical word, covetousness, thou shalt not covet. Covetousness is envy. It's just kind of a desire for something that's not yours, that you haven't earned, that you don't own. Jealousy is a little bit different. Jealousy can be something that you do own, but you don't want anybody messing with. Like a man is very jealous of his wife. Meaning, if somebody, some dude is kind of rubbing her arm or, a different part of her, or trying to hug her all the time, or whenever he meets her, he kisses her on the cheek or something, or he's just always hanging out with her and always flirting with her, and etc., etc., a man will feel very jealous because he owns that wife. And it's the same way. I'm not saying a woman doesn't own her husband. Don't get excited. When you're married, you own each other. You are one flesh, you're one person, and the one thing that you own from birth is your body, your person. But that changes when you get married. Now it's like you're two people, inseparable, and so there's a certain kind of ownership there. You don't really want to share. So jealousy is a little different than envy. Well, another thing you own is the time, and you get to choose how you spend your time. I tend to watch a lot of TV and movies, so not great, but if somebody wants to do something else, let's go back to the balking thing, right? Hey, let's go to the grocery store. Hey, let's not. I hate going to the grocery store. I don't want to spend my time that way. I'm very jealous of my time. One of my brothers, today is Saturday, he's very jealous of his Saturdays. If somebody plans an activity, there are 5 of us brothers. If somebody plans something on a Saturday, especially during the day, my brother, my one older brother, I'm second oldest, he'll be like, I don't want to know. I don't want to do some crap on Saturday. Because he's got a million projects he wants to work on around his house. He also loves to hike and bike and run and do all sorts of outdoor type activities. He's got plans. He's got things he wants to do on his Saturdays. So he's very jealous of that time. So that's what we're saying. In the first verse, we talked about how she barely, we want to, what do they say? Well, in our notes, we said something about spending a lot of time together. Well, all we really said was she wants all my moments. But I changed it to I want all her moments. Oh, well, still holds up. Because when you first meet somebody, it seems like you're thinking about each other all the time. Can't wait to be together again. So you're together a lot. Spend a lot of time together. But unfortunately, as a couple of goobery mortals, you begin to realize, this person's a little bit annoying sometimes. Wait a second, this person's a lot annoying a lot of the time. All right, she's grown jealous of her time. Go through the alphabet and rhyme something with time. Ooh, I like that. No reason and no rhyme. So for the fourth time, I never know how to spell rhyme. Is it R-H-Y-M-N-E? That's how I'm spelling it, but that's surely wrong. She's grown jealous of her time. She has no reason and no rhyme. I like that. Told you I was going to throw her under the bus. I was going to wait till the second chorus, but, we're getting to it in the first. She wants fewer kisses. She's lost interest in my kisses. Yeah, kisses. What are you going to rhyme with that? Misses? Yeah. No longer want her. For my misses. Let's change that a little bit. No longer wants. No longer wants to be my missus. No, let's keep it like it was. I like it better. Go ahead and own my feelings that I don't really want her. There's always something under my paper that the pencil kind of bounces on. Okay. Now we get to the crux. Okay, so just 4 more lines. Maybe more. We'll see. Let's see. Her. Let's just go with multiple meanings here. Her takes are ever changing. So takes could mean opinions. perspectives, paradigms. But it also, somebody, you know, when you're in any kind of relationship, from a friendship to a business relationship to familial relationships to this kind of love relationship, it's always an exchange, isn't it? So you're giving something, but you're also taking something. And best case scenario, both parties like what are willing to give in exchange for what they're taking. Well, a second meaning for this line is she seemed like she was taking things I was willing to give her for what I was getting back. But now the things she's taking, I don't know, it's a little different. Maybe there's some things she's taking from me that I'm not willing to give. How about this? Thinks my life needs, that looks like an R. Remember when I wrote an R that looks like an N? Now I've written an N that looks like an R. Thinks my life needs rearranging. Her takes are ever changing. Thinks my life needs rearranging. Okay, I kind of covered two subjects in that one, which is cool, man. Brevity is the soul of wit, according to Bill Shakespeare. And so that's me covering two subjects instead of in two stanzas, just in one stanza. Look how brief I am. Hooray for me. Okay. She looks less beautiful every word moment. Okay. So I've noticed this my whole life, ever since I got interested in girls, which was when I was about 4 years old. Literally, I just became a little obsessed. It's a really, really long story that I won't get into right now, or maybe ever. But I've noticed that at first girls seem really attractive. But most girls, I would say almost all girls, the more you get to know them, the less attractive they become. Just because, again, the imperfections come out and you just go, oh, okay. I don't care how beautiful you are. Your soul is ugly. All right. We already did beautiful up here, didn't we? Or in the other verse. We can do it again. What did we rhyme it with before? Wonderful. She's ever less beautiful. How about she's perpetual? Can I have a second chance to write that? She's perpetually less beautiful. How did I ever call her wonderful? So I think we've got the ending of each of our verses, right? End of the first verse, she's perfect in every way. I want to spend, no. End of the first verse, she's ever more beautiful. She's absolutely wonderful. End of the second verse, she's perpetually less beautiful. How did I ever call her wonderful? But you can relate, even if you're a woman watching this video. You've met guys that you're like, oh, he's so awesome. Look how smart he is. Look how confident he is. He makes that much money. He's a lawyer. Wow, he's awesome. He's wonderful, and he's so handsome. You get to know him, you know, you see him angry, you see him treat somebody badly, you see kind of some of his pridefulness that is very ugly. What you first viewed as confidence now just looks like arrogance, baseless, ignorant pride. Right? So this is a universal thing. Just because I'm writing it from the male perspective, hello, the shoe also fits on the other foot, doesn't it? Okay, so that's it. No more verses. We're already up to an hour. I'm having a blast. But let's work on the choruses next time. So hopefully, since I've kind of, there will be some of you who will, when I stop to break something down or to define some word, or to, like right now I'm trying to lengthen this process and break it down into smaller pieces, but therefore I'm, you know, the evidence of me making things more comprehensive is that this is by far the longest video I've ever made. We're over an hour right now. An hour and 1 minute. But, so there will be some of you that'll be like, oh, Scott, you don't have to define every little thing that you're doing, or if you use a less used word, you don't have to sit there and define it. But, you know, at the same time, I don't want to have anybody who's, what in the crap is Scott talking about? Because if you get confused, I will lose you, and I don't want to lose you. I want to help you become a writer of poetry and music, because it's a lot of fun. It's a cool way to create and to express yourself, and this stuff that you write is here for your posterity. Should I stop and define that word? It's here for whoever you leave behind. Your friends, your kids, your family will always have this stuff that you wrote. I have a whole bunch of, in my drafts box in my email, I have tons and tons of poetry. So maybe somebody will see that someday, but maybe not, whatever, it doesn't really matter. But it's a cool process. And it's been said that you don't really know what you think, how you really feel about something until you sit down and try to write about it. And as I've said, this box, this corner that we've painted ourselves into since we've chosen to write poetry, forces us to make the most of that space, right? There are certain rules. Things have got to rhyme. You can't have a line in a stanza that's 17 words long and then try to follow it with a 2-word line. I mean, I guess anything's possible. You could kind of do whatever you want. So it's kind of cool how in a lot of ways there are no rules, but on the other hand, at least for me, I like if a line that I've written in a 2-line stanza, if the first line, I can fit that into 4 measures of music, I kind of want the line that rhymes with it to fit into 4 measures of music. Maybe you've noticed that as we put these words to music. Anyway, so once again, it really is almost exactly like having kids. I'm not a huge fan of kids in general, but I love my own kids. You know, they seem a little better than everybody else's kids, and it's just because they're yours. I think whether you adopt them or whether they're biological, they're your kids, and so you've invested so much in them, and you've found reasons to feel that those investments were worth it, that you've made in your kids. It's the same thing. You created those kids, right? It's the same thing when you write anything. And even if you're just going to sit down and write a letter, or you're going to sit down and write a short story, or you're going to write a missive. I guess a missive is just a fancy way of saying a letter. Anyway, if you're just going to write an opinion of yours or something, or a rebuttal to somebody else's opinion, or you're going to just write down a bunch of information about a party that you're giving, you're going to write an invitation. Or, as I've said, if you're going to write poetry and then put it to music, or maybe you're going to come up with music all by itself, or you come up with music first and then fit some words into it. We'll do that at some point. Anyway, you're creating these things, and if you're like me, you just fall in love with them. I love what I've written here. I think it's ingenious. I think it's awesome and brilliant. Because it's mine. I wrote it. I created it. And it's so much fun for me. So what I'm going to try to do, just so you know what to expect, this is the 4th song. I'm going to try to do 10 songs exactly the same way, where I sit down, come up with some ideas, come up with some rhyming lines, and then put those rhyming lines to music. And, you know, strum some chords on the guitar. We'll stick with the guitar for now. Then I've got 3 mostly written songs that I would like to just kind of turn the video camera on here and finish those songs with you as my audience, because that's the thing for me. I feel like I'm kind of sitting on stage and y'all are in the audience and you're enjoying what I'm doing, and so it just makes it seem not like work. So it's awesome for me. Anyway, I'll finish those 3 songs, and then I think I'll do 10 more songs, but I'll do them over at the piano. When I go like this, I'm pointing with my chin over to my Story and Clark piano. You can't see it, but you just use your imagination. There's a piano right there. So we'll use it instead. We'll probably sit here to still do the lyrics, because I kind of still want to do the same formula. I want there to be a formula that you see me use 300 times. I've said I want to write 300 songs. I've said at some point I want to start with music and come up with, you know, some riffs, maybe start humming a melody to the riffs or to the chord progression or something, and then fit words into whatever the feeling of that music that I've created is. I want to do that. That's something I've much less experience doing, but, you know, if I can do this, I can do that, right? So after the second group of 10 songs, which I'll write on the piano, I didn't really write these on the piano, did I? So what I'll probably do is sit here and come up with my melody and write it down on my staff paper, and then go over to the piano and kind of pluck the chords, and you can just see what it would sound like if I'm using the piano to accompany myself instead of the guitar. So anyway, I'll do those 10 songs. So that'll be 23 songs already. That's almost one. No, it's not. Wow. 300 songs is a lot. Well, you gotta aim for the stars, and if you hit the mountains or the foothills, you're still higher than you were. Anyway, so that's kind of the plan. You can plan on 6 more songs written exactly like these first 4 were, with kind of the same, just very basic strumming or plucking of strings on my guitar. And then we'll finish up those 3 that I've just held in reserve just because I kind of lost interest and never got back to them. And then we'll start fresh with 10 new songs, one at a time. And when it comes time to kind of accompany myself, I'll go to the piano, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna be fun. So I guess that's about it for now. Actually, I'm gonna read you what I've written, even though we might eliminate some of these. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, we just happen to have 8 stanzas in our second verse. Maybe we'll make this song a little longer. That's the second verse. The first verse, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh my gosh, I've got 8 stanzas here as well. That's funny. So maybe we'll just keep this. I said I was going to maybe eliminate some of it. But see, A Jedi's not supposed to form attachments, right? But that's exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to having kids. You grow very attached to your kids. I'm also very attached to these words that I've written, so I'm going to have a really hard time eliminating anything. So I just don't think I will eliminate anything. So there. It's going to be kind of a long song, but that's okay. Oh, I was going to read you the lyrics. So one thing I will reserve is the right to change the order of these lyrics. But here we go. First verse. This is the rose-colored glasses verse. She's perfect in every way. I want to spend every day. Wow. That's a line that should have led to something, right? Let's say instead of spend, I want to be with her. Okay, she's perfect in every way. I want to be with her every day. She's ever more beautiful. She is absolutely wonderful. Fun to talk to, a great listener, great lips. I love kissing her. The girl really gets me. When I want to, she lets me. She's giving and forgiving. I was dying, now I'm living. That's a little dramatic. Let's use a different word other than dying. So this is good too. Go through and read what you've written and edit. They say that editing is writing. Writing is editing. I was subsisting. Now I'm living. Let's say existing. I think that's kind of borrowing from Neil Peart of Rush. I think those are the exact two words he uses. He talks about the difference between existing and living. That's what we've done. It's okay. Nobody creates in a vacuum. I was existing, now I'm living. I want all her moments. We have a real romance. She loves me for me. She just lets me be me. It's a little redundant, but that's okay. She finishes my sentences, usually saying what I meant to say. Sentences meant to say. Close enough. All right. So here's the slightly or greatly more vitriolic second verse. Where I accessed my anger. Now we've been together for a minute. Might not be love now that I'm in it. When she's grumpy, it's not cute. All her points are pretty moot. She's less than proud to know me. Thinks she's right and wants to show me. Remember when we kind of visited that idea in the very last song? I want to have my say, or do I want to just show him right? Something like that. So, I only have so many ideas that I can share. So I've shared the same idea twice now. Doesn't listen when I'm talking. More and more I find she's balking. She's grown jealous of her time. She has no reason and no rhyme. That's a little bit redundant with her. All her points are pretty moot. That's okay. She lost interest in my kisses. No longer wants me. No longer want her for my misses. Her takes are ever changing. Thinks my life needs rearranging. She's perpetually less beautiful. How did I ever call her wonderful? That's what I wrote today. Take that, Jack Blades. I can crap out a song every week if I want. Might not be as good as your songs. There aren't very many songs as good as Sister Christian by Night Ranger. Their most famous song, but I love it so much. You gotta look these songs up. Especially if you're younger and you've never heard it. Sister Christian by Night Ranger. Goodbye by Night Ranger. Reason to Be by Night Ranger. Call My Name by Night Ranger. I can play that one on the piano. They're my favorite band, so what else do I love? Sing Me Away. I'm going to go ahead and self-deprecate for a second here. Songs should tell a story, and I guess to one degree or another, you can read between the lines and see that I've got a past where I've had some bad experiences with women that I've gotten to know and realized, not as great as I thought she was. But to actually literally tell a story with a song, I think is a really cool thing, and I haven't done much of that. It's something, that's a muscle I would like to develop. Anyway, the song Sing Me Away by Night Ranger. It's on their first album, one of the first songs that Jack Blades and Kelly Keagy ever wrote together. Kelly Keagy is the drummer, who's also the other lead singer. He sings Sing Me Away and Reason to Be, and what's the other one I mentioned? I can't remember. Goodbye. The song called Goodbye. I want that song at my funeral. Guy next door is yelling at his dogs. Sing Me Away. So it recalls some beautiful girl that either Kelly Keagy or Jack Blades met back in school. And I guess maybe the girl liked to sing, right? Oh, I love it. You gotta look it up. Sing Me Away by Night Ranger. So he's just remembering how she was the one who could sing me away. My interpretation of the meaning of that phrase, sing me away, is, you know, sometimes when somebody's really attractive and she starts to sing, you are transported to another world. When Shania Twain sings, I feel like she's singing directly to me, and she loves me and she wants me, right? So she sings me away, so I can definitely relate. I'm guessing that's what those lyrics mean when Night Ranger performs them and Kelly Keagy sings them. Anyway, so it's cool when you tell a story. But as I've said now for the third time, Jack Blades has talked about the songwriting process, and he says you can't just sit down and crap out a song, but I can. It comes very easily to me to come up with lyrics. All right, I really got to end this. We're almost up to an hour and 20 minutes. If you've made it this far, thank you for hanging in with me. I love making these videos. I hope that you can love watching them and learning from them a fraction of how much I love making them. So I'm going to quit, and I will talk to you Monday morning. We will come up with a couple of choruses that hopefully are kind of twins of each other, but not identical. Fraternal twins. That first chorus is going to be kind of rosy and cheesy. Second chorus is going to be, hi, she's kind of a jerk. She's not as perfect as I thought. So, it's going to be a lot of fun. I look forward to it. But it's time to do something else with my weekend. I think I'll go mow the lawn. But I don't, swing and a miss. I don't enjoy working in the yard as much as Nate does. So, I'll go grit my teeth and mow my goofy lawn. All right, love you guys. I love this thing we're doing together. So, all right, man. Talk to you later.